Jesus. Whatever you face this week, forward still. Whatever mountains come in your way, forward still. Yeah. Whatever, even if you buck your toe, forward still. Disappointment come, forward still. Woo! And if another pastor fall, forward still. After the pastor we are follow. We obey with pastor, but we are follow Jesus. Forward still. Woo. Young people, walk holy. Walk holy. Make the right decisions. Walk right. Walk holy. Ramandosia. Rakandarabasiandarabasha. Walk holy. Forward still. It's Jehovah's will. Though the billows dash and sway with a concrete strength, we will push. Let the church be the church, and he will roll. Yes, he will roll. No matter what you face, he will roll. Even if you fall, get up and he will. Oh yes, and he will roll the sea away. Hallelujah.
For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan rolls. Get something on wheel it. 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 Grab a rock and 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 wheel it. Come now, wave your hand. Wave your hand. Wave your hand if you love the Lord. Wave your hand. Wave your, yes, wave your hand if you love the Lord. And me say roll, Jordan roll, roll. Praise him like you just don't care. Just praise the God, because you know what he has done for you. Just give him praise. Rock and praise him. Dance and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. My God, David was one of the greatest musicians. And I hear this musician playing. Give God glory, musician. Tell them, play a little David. Play a little David. Play me David. Play a little David. Yes, play me David. Play a little David. Hi. Yes, play me David. Play a little David. Me say roll, Jordan. Me say roll, Jordan roll. My God, Church of God this evening. God is good. Yes, God is good. God, for I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. Come now, me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to walk right in there. 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 A river Jordan a roll. 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 Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan. I feel like praising. I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want rock and praise it, boy. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Boy, river Jordan a roll. People make you roll, make you roll. Boy, a blessing make you roll. Yes, a blessing make you roll. Boy, are your blessing make you roll. Yes, are your blessing make you roll. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan rolls. Somebody shout and praise to God. My God. Somebody praise him. Rock your body and praise him. And Jesus' body make you rock it. Rock and give him praise. Hey, my God. At the cross, where I first saw the light. And the burden of my heart roll away. I am working for a robe and a star on my crown. I am working. I only live my life to please the Lord. Yes, somebody praise him now. Walk out and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. Give him praise in the home. Give Jesus praise in the home. Somebody praise high. Somebody praise him. Come now. Yes. In the middle of the night. Oh yeah. When me back against the wall. Oh Jesus. And me don't have no friend at all. Jesus taught me how to pray. In the middle of the night. Yes, sir. In the middle of the night. Yes, when me back against the wall. Jesus, and me don't have no friend at all. Jesus taught me how to pray. In the middle of the night. Oh, hey, 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 hey. Oh, our Father, what in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thank you, Lord. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. In the middle of the night. Say it again. Oh, our Father, what in heaven. Somebody worship him. Hallowed be thy name. Yeah. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. In the middle of the night. My God. Thank you, Lord. There is a race that I must run, and the victory to be won. Anybody can identify with me this evening? So give me power, Lord, every hour. Say it with me. Keep me through. Come on, people, get out of your seat and rock this evening. Rock and give Jesus glory. Come, keep me true, Lord Jesus, keep me true. Yes, keep me true, Lord Jesus, keep me true. Yes, there is a race that I must run, and the victory to be. Somebody give God praise hour. Yes, every hour. Yes, keep me true. Sing it again this evening. Keep me true, Lord Jesus, keep me true. Yes, I keep me true, Lord Jesus, keep me true. There is a race that I
Heat life, he life, he life.
Yes, comrades!
Youth and youth, undecided voters.
PNP coming again! So tell your neighbor, tell your friend. Green man I ride with like mule, and I take the nation for fall. But we have a new name for him. What him name? Eli. Bangarang. Oh, we tired of the labor pay. The drive across the bus and the country going down the drain. Yes, we tired of the labor pay. Poverty of us we shut and we going insane. Why? Eli. At the new name for the bus driver. Eli. That's how you hear from every corner. Eli. His name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli. On a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, 2 times on a Sunday. Eli. Hear this. Eli tell we say him a go build up the country, put money in our pocket and end poverty. Promise the farmer them a go drive SUV. No him touch the bus, him a blame PNP. But Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. Him fi go sit down back in the harbour. Him too lion out of order. Oh, we tired of the labor pay. The drive across the bus and the country going down the drain. Yes, we tired of the labor pay. The poverty of us we shut and we going insane. Eli. At the new name for the bus driver. Eli. That's how you hear from every corner. Eli. His name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli make big promise to teach a nurse and police. Promise to give them big salary increase. Promise jobs, more jobs and good economy. But no him crash the bus, him a blame PNP. But Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. Him fi go sit down back in the harbour. Him too lion out of order. Wanna remember this? Eli from a party new on the scene. Swear say him done with the garrison and the green.
I'll never go back to that.
Him tell the country now him greener than green with no credibility. Eli at the new name for the bus driver. That's how you hear from every corner. His name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. Him fi go sit down back in the harbour. Him too lion out of order. On a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, 2 times on a Sunday, 1 o'clock.
Alright, partner draw. Andre, set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them, set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them, set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the parliament. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them, set a rat trap with the 2 foot. Set a rat trap in a FLA. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them, set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap in the school. The one them where teeth to pity them money. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the judiciary. The one them where take money out of the table. Set a rat trap for the lawyer them. Set a rat trap. Take the people money and take them land title and them not get no title. Hello? Set a rat trap. Partner draw. Partner draw. Andre. Hello? Hello? We said we set a rat trap in the church for the one them we are thief the offering. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. We must catch them. Set a rat trap in the tax office. Set a rat trap. The 2-foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. We said we set a rat trap. Andre. Oh my God. We are suffering in Jamaica with the corruption. Jesus Christ, you can't get them. We said set a rat trap down on the wharf. Set a rat trap for the, what they call them? Set a rat trap down on the wharf, man. Yes? And set a rat trap in the airport. Hello? Hello, you know, say all here Jamaica bankrupt, but we don't know where the money go. Set a rat trap, set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2-foot rat, them set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the entertainment. Hello? Set a rat trap in the entertainment. Set a rat trap. Let me say, set a rat trap for those who are do contract killing. We must catch them in America, in England, and in Canada. Set a rat trap to the one them with Jamaica. With the 2-foot rat, them set a rat trap. Hello? Set a rat trap. We must catch them. Tear off the cover and expose them. Set a rat trap. Alright, sir. Set a rat trap. Must catch them.
I'm not sorry, listen to PDTV show.
Oh yeah!
So many things I did not know.
Oh yeah!
I tune in from this show. No, I'm not sorry.
Oh yes!
No, I'm not sorry.
One more time.
No, I'm not sorry at all.
No, yeah.
I'm not sorry, listen to PDTV show.
Oh yeah!
So many things I did not know.
Oh yeah!
I tune in from this show. No, I'm not sorry.
Oh yes!
No, I'm not sorry.
One more time.
No, I'm not sorry at all.
No, yeah.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I listen to PDTV show.
Oh, yes.
So many things I did not know.
Oh, yes.
Until I tune in from this show. No, me not sorry.
Oh, yes.
No, me not sorry.
One more time.
No, me not sorry at all.
No, yeah.
Hey everyone, evening to you. So I'm back again in for Andre. As you know, he's been in Canada for the last couple of days. We had some nice photos of him today with his team, and they're working hard over in Canada. So we're going to be with you guys for the next couple of hours and trying to maybe just make sense of so much things is happening right now. So we're going to make sense of all of that, and then we will, I think in a few moments' time, we're going to be asking the question, why is Carrie Lake being sent to Jamaica? What does her nomination mean for US-Jamaica relations? We're going to talk to a someone who's got a very good knowledge of American politics and knows a little bit about Carrie Lake, who's going to explain to us and let us just get a sense of the significance of what that means and whether you guys should be at all worried. We're also going to be asking, is the government bypassing the media? And the reason being is, I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but JIS, the Jamaica Information Service, is meant to exist to basically provide information, right, to the public. But at the moment, it feels like it's been, turned into this sort of media spin machine where politicians are avoiding traditional media and only wanting to do interviews on platforms like those, where they often avoid really tough and challenging questions, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're also going to be reflecting very quickly on the World Cup. So we've seen a lot of folks down in, is it Trenchtown? I believe down in Trenchtown, taking to the streets, celebrating Brazil's win over the weekend. So we're going to touch on that. And then after 9 tonight, we're going to do a missing in Jamaica special feature. So I believe the figures are that I think 4 to 6 people go missing every day on the island. So we're going to touch a little bit on that and then talk to a family who are searching for their 78-year-old father and grandfather with dementia. He's been missing for exactly a month now. So we're going to hear that family story. And we're also going to be hearing from someone who's basically taken to the streets with a march in memory of Jaden Smith, asking, where is Jaden Smith? A supporter of Jaden Smith who has organized the march is going to be here as well. And also, finally, is there trouble inside the Ministry of Culture? We've got some exclusive reporting about the quiet push to replace Babsy Grange. So we have some exclusive reporting that we're going to bring you a little later on and sort of try and give you guys a sense as to what the hell is happening inside the Ministry of Culture. And of course, Babsy's a legend, right? Legend. 40 years in politics, and she's still going strong. But there's few people saying, listen, it's time to change the guard. New people need to come in. New people need to have a go at running departments. So we're going to unpick that. But like I said, thanks to everyone for being here with us tonight. So we're going to get going with tonight's show, right? And I've been thinking about this story a lot over the weekend. And Carrie Lake, you guys will have heard her name over the last week or so. She wants you to know that she's visited Jamaica around 40 times. She's made clear that she spent her honeymoon on the island. She knows about Usain Bolt. She knows about Bob Marley. She knows about reggae music. And she's also taken issue with China's growing influence in the country. But it's good. It's good that she has that knowledge. However, none of that answers the real question. And the question tonight is, why is one of the most controversial figures in modern American politics being sent to Jamaica as the face of the United States government? Now, I've had the opportunity to interview Carrie Lake, and I will tell you, she's a good communicator, right? She's a firebrand. She takes no nonsense. She speaks her mind, and she's very, very abrasive, right? And she's a staunch supporter of Donald Trump. They describe her as a MAGA far-right loudmouth for President Trump. However, and the reason why we're talking about this is because this is no ordinary diplomatic appointment. This is not a career diplomat with decades of experience navigating foreign policy, building international relationships, or managing complex diplomatic relationships. That lady on the right of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, that is Carrie Lake. And she could potentially become Washington's representative in Kingston. Now, the concern isn't whether Carrie Lake likes Jamaica. Like I said, she's visited the island 40 times. She's spent her honeymoon on the island. However, diplomacy is not campaigning. And I, saw Carrie Lake during the 2024 presidential campaign trail when I was following Donald Trump all over the US. The MAGA crowd, they love her. She says the right things. But guess what? Diplomacy, as we know, is not rally speeches. It's not going on social media and declaring warfare and attacking your opponents. Diplomacy requires patience, credibility, restraint, and above all, trust. And if there's one thing that I've learned covering in and out the United Nations General Assembly over the years is that, yes, you can see politicians, they come and go, prime ministers, presidents, they come and go, but the ones who are effective, they leave a legacy behind. The guys who can, build things and go and do the job not for themselves or not for a name, but do the job for the people. Also, trust. Trust that when an ambassador speaks, they are speaking from facts. Carrie Lake is a known individual who believes the 2020 election was stolen from President Trump when in fact Joe Biden won the election. She has peddled that misinformation. She's been in and out of court for repeating the lie. Judges have ruled that there is no credible evidence to show that the 2020 election, despite claims from the president of the United States that it was stolen from him, it is a complete lie. So Carrie Lake is one of those people who peddle that misinformation about the 2020 election. I want to talk now to Mo Vele. Mo is a former senior advisor to President Joe Biden and a longtime political strategist with decades of experience at the highest level of American government. So let's try and bring in Mo now. And Mo, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you. And my greetings to the people of Jamaica. Oh my God, how I love the Jamaican people and the beautiful, beautiful island of Jamaica.
You sound a bit like Kari there, Mo. She loves Jamaica as well.
I'm so glad you said that. Well, there's a big difference between. Can you hear me? No,
we can hear you.
Okay, there's a big difference between me and Carrie Lake, and I didn't plan on comparing me to Carrie Lake because there's no need to. But now that you raise that, it kind of raises the issue of qualifications, right? I think what you just said in your opening was so articulate and so poignant and perfectly stated and articulated. Look, at the end of the day, what we've gathered now after many months of this second Trump term is that qualifications are not a criteria to be named a diplomat to any country. So let me start by saying that to the people of Jamaica. Please don't take it personally and don't be offended that he's sending somebody so lacking in qualifications and the diplomatic skills and experience to represent our country and your beautiful country. So if you go back and you look at Greece, his son's former fiance is the ambassador to Greece. She's not qualified to be there. And you can pick another 10, 20 countries around the world where the people he has sent are just simply not qualified.
So Mo, can you articulate and just get the people to understand? Because like I said, for a lot of people on the island, this is their first time hearing about Carrie Lake, right? We know she's a former Fox News host. I know her because she ran for governor of Arizona, lost that race, started screaming, "It was robbed from me. It was rigged." And then she did the same thing in 2024 for the presidential election. What is the single biggest red flag in Carrie Lake's record that should make Jamaicans nervous about her becoming an ambassador?
Her veracity, her trustworthiness. I can't trust a person who lies. If you're going to lie about an election being stolen and you've been proven to have lied more than once about more than one election, it's been refuted, right? There's never been any evidence to support her claims that it was stolen, neither time. And so if you're willing to lie about something so serious and so important to people and the lives of everyday brothers and sisters, if you're willing to lie about that, what else are you willing to lie about? So to me, if I was a Jamaican, I would take everything she says if she in fact gets appointed and approved by the United States Senate. If her confirmation is approved, I would be questioning her veracity at all times, right? Like, is she appropriately and truthfully representing what she's saying, right? I'd always have that doubt, frankly. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to Miss Lake, but Miss Lake has brought this upon herself, right? All she's ever done is, refuted our election outcomes with no evidence to back it up. Courts have told her she was wrong. The facts have proven her wrong, and she continues to do it. So if I was a Jamaican, that would worry me tremendously.
So would you go as far as saying that, given the fact that you believe she will be so ineffective, could she actively damage the relationship between Kingston and Washington? Is she that much of a threat to the relationship?
Well, I think what I'm going to do, which to be honest with you, I haven't been engaging in this type of media interviews. I haven't been doing these for a while now because I don't have anything good to say. And it's not in my nature, right? I'm a real positive, optimistic, loving human being. And it's difficult for me to find something good to say. And so on answering your question, I don't want to avoid your question in any way. I would point to the Prime Minister of Italy today and her ongoing now social media feud with President Trump. So the answer to your question is, could she damage Jamaican-American relations? I point to Italy and the United States, an ally of decades, that is now damaged as well. So if that can happen, then the answer, I have no choice but to say, why couldn't or wouldn't it happen, right? I hope it doesn't. No, I hope it doesn't. I really do. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I love the people of Jamaica. I was there on the island back in the Hillary Clinton campaign and did some interviews all over the island and had one of the most beautiful visits with my brothers and sisters from Jamaica. And I hope that doesn't happen. I hope the relationship between our countries stays strong. I implore Carrie Lake, if she's confirmed, that she please represent our country with love and respect and dignity and kindness and truthfulness. Truthfulness. I'd say try it, Carrie. Try the truth, Carrie.
That's the key word, isn't it? Truth. And, we often think of that word and we wouldn't usually associate that term to politicians because they tend to say things sometimes that they need to say to get to where they need to get to. And I want to play a quick clip now of Carrie Lake appearing before the Senate, just taking questions from senators who were grilling her and just trying to find out if she has the credentials. And in all honesty, she was saying the right thing. So she said that she wants to tackle the issue of scamming. We know that, a lot of people in the US are often targeted by, people who appear to be from Jamaica carrying out large scale scams. She says that she wants to limit China's, influence on the island. She wants American interest to be brought into the island so that American, just to try and prevent any issues where, China, becomes a dominant force in the country. She also talked about, wanting to improve the relationship so Jamaicans can travel freely to the US. So she was saying all the right things, but let's just take a listen to this. And I want to get your thoughts off the back of this clip, Mo. Let's take a listen.
There are massive concerns, and as this need right now to rebuild has created a lot of opportunity for companies to come in, I'd rather see, and I know you would and everybody here, American companies coming in to assist not the continued increase of Chinese companies.
So speaking of that, as you know, a Chinese firm won a major contract for the Kingston port expansion in 2025. What questions should the U.S. be asking about data access, port resilience, logistics, and dual-use risks?
When it comes to ports or when it comes to telecom?
Well, in this case, specifically the port.
The port. You know, from what I've been briefed on, some of the concerns are when they're controlling and seeing everything that's coming in, it puts at a great risk for America, for our security, when they have access and control over everything coming into the country.
I mean, we listened to that, Mo. She seemed to be saying the right things. On first impression, people watch that, they'll say, wow, she seems credible. She seems like she genuinely wants to come and, you know, make sure that America, you know, has a role in Jamaica, and China, which everybody has concerns around, will be limited. So what do you take from that then? Is that just all puff, and that's just all performative stuff? Or do you genuinely believe that she may potentially want to be a serious politician now?
I'm going to answer that in this manner. I hope that for the first time in a long while that she's telling the truth. I hope so. I hope that she's being sincere and genuine in those objectives. I will, as an attorney here in the United States, we use a little phrase a lot in everyday life, and we say the jury's out. The jury is still out. We will wait and see whether that was all fluff and puff and just what you're supposed to say at a confirmation hearing, the sound bites that are going to sit well and resonate so that you can be confirmed. And then we'll see if it's just talk or is it also action. And I'm going to take the high road here and say, I hope to God that she's telling the truth. I hope to God that that is what she does when she is on the ground in Jamaica and at the embassy doing her job. And let's just keep our fingers crossed that she's telling the truth for the first time in a long time.
There are a lot of Jamaicans on here tonight who will say, listen, we already have enough issues. We're a sovereign nation facing serious challenges. Illegal firearms continue flowing into the island from places like America. Organized crime remains a major threat. Migration and deportation policies are becoming increasingly sensitive. You would have seen the news a few days ago that Jamaica is one of the latest countries that's going to be accepting deported migrants who are third world, deportees who can't go back to their country, and whatever deals happen behind the scenes, that's caused a lot of upset. But here's the thing. Carrie Lake has built a reputation from culture wars, stirring the pot. And I'm sorry to say this, like a bit like a shit stirrer. So someone who deliberately goes out of their way to sort of create talking points and then make a name and become famous. And I kind of feel like, as much as I am tonight wanting to be reserved and wanting to say, hey, listen, let's give this woman a chance. I met Carrie Lake for the first time, Mo, in I believe it was Miami, when Trump was, had these many court cases going on. And I remember standing outside the courthouse and watching Carrie Lake have a meltdown, shouting that the president of the United States is innocent. He is, all the usual talking points. Yeah. And then I stood there and I realized, and I said, oh my God. She's like a cult. Like she's literally one of those people who say things and don't realize what she's saying sounds.
What can go so?
Yeah. So, as much as I want to kind of wrap up tonight's conversation by saying, hey guys, let's be reserved and let's give this woman a shot. We've got to also be very, very blunt and very honest to say that. What exactly qualifies Carrie Lake for this job?
She's not qualified. Listen, we can sit here and go back and forth all night long. The fact of the matter is that she's not qualified. Okay. But I would say this to your audience and to the Jamaican people. Go in with your eyes wide open. Okay. And I would just say, constantly be challenging her veracity, holding her accountable. Those tantrums and the yelling you just described, and the accusations and the denials and the lies and misrepresentations, frankly, that is the furthest thing from diplomacy that you can get. So she's simply just not qualified. I mean, that's all there is to it. She's not qualified. But that, again, as I said at the very beginning, what a great way to take this full circle, right? I said at the very beginning, being qualified has not seemed to be a criteria for being named an ambassador by this administration. And so therefore, we have to now hope for the relationship of our two countries, our two beautiful countries, for the future of that relationship, for the health of that relationship. We have to hope that somehow Miss Lake rises to the occasion and somehow morphs into some semblance of a diplomat with the ability to build bridges, and to bring people together, and to be innovative in ways that will strengthen the country of Jamaica and help address some of those challenges that you just listed, for example. And I can tell, I'm going to leave on a really high note and a positive note. If I could be so bold as to give her a suggestion, but one of the greatest things, if you're going to try to bring in American companies and try to, replace China's influence in Jamaica, so come up with ways we can create a new tech hub, for example, in Jamaica. Let's start tech incubation and tech hubs in Jamaica, right? And bring in the right people that wherever are necessary, so that Jamaicans can take control of their own destiny, and you don't have to rely on the United States or China. See what I'm saying? You're the seeds are there. The Jamaican people are brilliant, and they're visionary, and they know how to do these things. So let's not have any reliance on any of these people, right? That was what I would say to her, is why don't you create an environment in the U.S., instead of saying, well, you need our help more than you need China's? Let's go in and say, what can we do to help you so that you get going and you don't need that from us or anybody? Does that make sense?
Any advice, Mo, to the government, the Prime Minister, he's foreign minister, on how to deal with someone like Carrie Lake if she is appointed and is sent to Jamaica? Because again, for those of us in the US, we will know that she's not a walkover. She's a tough cookie.
No, she's tough. She's tough. Listen, and I give her credit for that. She's a fireball, right? And she doesn't back down. Unfortunately, when people are like that, it's a little more palatable when they're actually not backing down because they got the facts right and they're telling the truth. Unfortunately for her, she doesn't do those two things. But I would say far be it from me to give advice to your prime minister. Your prime minister is brilliant, and they know what they're doing. But if you're asking me, I would say to look at the Prime Minister of Italy and how she's handling this administration. I would have them handle Carrie Lake exactly the same way. Hold her accountable. Do not let her get away with untruthful statements and misrepresentations. If, in fact, anything she says or does as the ambassador to your country, if she says or does something that is going to damage the relationship, I think you have to stand up to her. What do you do?
Explosion.
That's okay. What do you do in a schoolyard when there's a bully? What is the best way to handle a bully? And that would be my advice to anybody. You stand up to them and say, no, absolutely not. Not on our beautiful island. Not on our beautiful island. Not with our beautiful people. You will not come here and tell lies. And I think that's what you have to do. If she's going to be a bully at any time, which I hope she's not. Let me be clear. I'm hoping. But if she continues her normal patterns, I think the prime minister and everybody else in Jamaica, you just have to say no, not here. Just like the prime minister of Italy just did. She said,
So,
we don't beg here in Italy. Remember that line yesterday? I don't beg, and neither does Italy, she said to Donald Trump.
listen, a lot of people will describe the country's prime minister at the moment as someone who's a bit tough as well, who is very, gets what he wants. And maybe he's going to meet his match in Carrie Lake. So who knows if she is confirmed. But Mo, no, thank you so much. And I know obviously President Biden is out of office now. You worked with him over the years. I mean, do you think, moving forward, we need more politicians like Joe Biden, despite whatever people might think of him? He is someone who, kind of took office, had a bit of a rocky time, but he was known to being very authentic, the man of the people. I look at him nowadays, I see him, I saw him the other day going through JFK Airport, getting on a commercial flight with his 4 Secret Service agents around him. I'm just wondering, are we seeing the last of politicians like that? Or do you think that there will be politicians who will be for the people? Are we just now in that era where politicians are going to be selfish, self-righteous, and it's all about them?
I'm sure your audience is like, okay, this guy's making me sick by saying, I hope it's not the last we've seen of it. Okay. And I have to tell you, on Thursday, watching President Obama open his presidential library and center and watching the 4 last American living presidents together, Republican and Democrats, I saw that hope that I'm sharing with your audience tonight. I hope that we get back to that America that we saw on Thursday again, where these 4 presidents and their wives came together in decency, with kindness, respecting our Constitution, respecting our democracy, not hateful and racist and divisive and anti-immigrant and anti-trans and anti-this and anti-that and them versus us and they're less than we are and they're this and that. It just that beautiful. So that's part of the answer. I hope we go back to that. And as a Joe Biden, oh my God, man, I hope we have more Joe Bidens as president of our nation. Frankly, I hope more Joe Bidens are presidents of many nations. That man has the most beautiful heart. He's kind and he's gracious and he's humble. And he's a compassionate, loving soul. And you may not agree with his politics. I'm not going to get into those debates. I'm not asking anybody to like his policies or politics, but it's impossible not to like him as a human. The same with Mr. Obama, the same with Mr. Bush, the same with Mr. Clinton. How can you not like them as people? They're decent human beings. Have they made mistakes? Of course. You and I make mistakes. We are all making mistakes often. But decency, goodness, kindness, integrity, character, morality, values, principles. We have to go back to that. I hope to God we do. I hope to God we do. Thursday was a glimmer of what we miss so deeply.
And we can really try and apply all those things that you just said to everyone who are patriots, who love their country and just want their politicians to work in their interest and to represent them and not to make it about them as individuals and what they can gain whilst they're in office. But Mo Vela, former senior advisor to President Biden. I know you worked in the Obama administration as well. I think you were in the Clinton President Clinton's
I was also chief financial officer and senior advisor to Vice President Al Gore.
Wow.
Well.
So you've done the round. So an experienced political strategist, and I'm sure we'll have you back here again, Mo. But thank you for your time tonight.
My pleasure. And again, my greetings to all of my Jamaican brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Mo. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, chat, we thought it was really, really important, right, that tonight we just give you a sense of who is Carrie Lake, what does she mean, and should you be worried? Should you be concerned? And you just heard from Mo Vela there, a man with 4 decades of experience in US politics, knows of Kari, knows, how politicians can preempt what politicians will be like before they do the things they do. So it was good to get an interesting insight there. But let's not forget, Kari, if she is appointed and confirmed, she will come to Jamaica carrying years of controversy over denying election, misinformation claims, and confrontational politics. Maybe she will bring some spice. Maybe she's going to spice up the island. I don't know. They are, however, the defining feature of her political career. And I just thought tonight it was important for you guys, for every Jamaican, to have the right to ask whether someone whose reputation was built on political combat and being combative is the right person to manage one of the most important diplomatic relationships in the Caribbean. We're going to probably find out real soon if Carrie Lake will be heading to the island. But the questions, I think, won't go away. The issues, like I said, the culture wars, those are going to follow her around the political theater, and maybe she will get on really well with the Prime Minister. Maybe she will. But from the outside, it's difficult to ignore the growing perception that this appointment looks less like a diplomatic selection and more like a political reward for her loyalty. Like I said, she's a loyal supporter of President Trump. And she's now getting a prestigious overseas posting. Look at that. If that's the case, Jamaica deserves more than just being treated like a consolation prize in American politics, right? That's fair enough to say. But Mo left with optimism, and maybe I should wrap this up with a little bit of optimism as well, right? The United States and Jamaica share deep historical, economic, security, and cultural ties. Jamaican people do not need an ambassador who arrives with headlines already attached to her name. So if she is confirmed, it's going to be interesting times, and I am surely going to be following this very, very closely throughout. So thanks again to Mo for coming on and for giving us his insight there as a veteran of the US political scene. Here's what we're going to do. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, right, we're gonna talk to you a little bit about the Jamaica Information Service. I've been spending some time just doing some investigation, observing the current approach and how, let me try and figure out the right words to say, how the platform is being used at the advantage of the government. There is even a new chief executive, a former managing and editor of a network in Jamaica, the Jamaican News Service. So they're really going all out to try and bolster and to give the JIS a lot of credibility so that people can go there instead of coming to independent media or going to the traditional media. And I'm going to share with you guys the conversations that I've been having with some of the top journalists working at outlets in Jamaica and their concerns that they have. So I'll share that with you real soon. We're also going behind the scenes to tell you that there is a quiet push, and there is let me try and say this very, very delicately. After 40 years, people are asking within the JLP, is it time to give Babsy Grange, is it time for her to step aside and give someone else a shot at running the department? A minister has came out over the weekend to address allegations that there is a feud and there are disgruntled, angry scenes happening at the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. I'm going to tell you what I learned and the people who I've been talking to. But when we come back straight away, we're going to spend the next 35, 40 minutes with a special feature on missing people in Jamaica. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to Golby Locks and Grow. We have a variety of skin and hair products that are 100% natural. Our products are developed by a certified cosmetologist located in Port Antonio. For skincare, we have body wash, body butter, body scrub, facial bars, and more. Our hair care products include powerful hair growth oils, shampoo, conditioners, hair moisturizers, and more. Visit our locations and feel free to follow us on Instagram at Golby Locks and Grow. Call us at 357-9996. Let us help you rejuvenate your natural beauty.
From nature to you, straight from the tree to everyday living. So why the hassle when it's already done for you? Stop searching. Looking for pure natural coconut oil you can trust? Aruka Distribution has the answer. Only Coconuts brings you two premium options: virgin coconut oil and refined coconut oil. Our virgin coconut oil is cold pressed to preserve its natural fragrance and nutrients, perfect for skincare, hair care, oral health, and low temperature cooking. For higher heat cooking, choose our refined coconut oil with a neutral scent, high smoke point, and cholesterol-free goodness for everyday meals. 2 oils, 2 purposes, 1 pure standard. Available at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. Nature's gift for you. The difference is clear, only Coconuts. Call or email us today.
Hey everyone, it is Sunday evening. Noel here with you. Andre, as you know, is currently having a whale of a time, a good time, in fact, up in Canada. Big thank you to everyone who's with us this evening, who are coming in, saying hi. College Lifestyle says Babsy's 100 now. Come on, College. She's not that old yet. She is still at the top of her game, but we're going to share details, some information that I've learned. Listen, when you start that, kind of covering Jamaican politics, you realize that people want to suddenly become friendly with you. They want to talk to you. They want to give you information. They might not want to come on here and talk publicly, but I'm learning so much. And I'm going to share those details with you very shortly. I believe that my next guest is here, and I do want to talk about the Jamaica Information Service very quickly. And that is because that platform was created to inform the public. And today, a lot of people have been calling me over the last couple of days saying that at the moment, it feels like the JIS is serving a very different purpose. What was intended to be a public information service increasingly resembles a taxpayer-funded communications arm of the government, one that allows politicians to speak directly to the public without facing the scrutiny that comes with independent journalism. So think about that. So, when, for example, we have a guest on and then we will ask them challenging questions, we're not going to, kind of agree with them beforehand to say, hey, we're only going to ask you this and you're going to have to agree with what we're asking you. We ask everything without fear and favor. That's what journalism and that's what the media is there to do. And that's purely our job, not to take sides, but just to ask the questions and let you guys know what is happening in your country. But here's the thing. When ministers appear on JIS platforms, right, they're not facing tough interviews. They're not being challenged on rising crime, the cost of living, failing public services, broken promises, or allegations of corruption. From what I'm seeing, they're having these cozy, performative little chats. Instead, they're sitting before the government cameras, speaking to government interviewers on government-owned platforms, delivering carefully managed messages, no difficult follow-up questions, no rigorous fact-checkings, no demanding answers on behalf of the public and taxpayer in Jamaica. You guys are funding every minute of that. And that raises a really important question tonight. Where is the line between public information and political promotion? Because if I'm right, and listen, I feel like I'm learning and we're all learning. Every time we come and do this, we all feel like we want to learn and find out interesting things and take away, interesting points and conversations that we had. But journalism is supposed to challenge power, not to protect it, not to wrap our arms around politicians and be friendly with them. Its role is to ask uncomfortable questions, test, official claims, and hold leaders accountable for their decisions. But when those in power create their own media platforms, control the interviews, and shape the narrative, critics argue the public is no longer receiving scrutiny. They're receiving messaging. And in any democracy, we should be concerned about that. I want to bring in Dr. Chase Neal now, who you guys may know him. He stood as a candidate for the United Independence Congress of Jamaica and has been an outspoken critic on issues of government transparency and accountability. Do we have Dr. Neal? Is Dr. Neal here? We need you, Dr. Neal. Come on. The people want to hear from you, Dr. Neal. Is he here? I know there was a power cut. There we go. We feel like we've got you now, sir. You there? Can you hear me?
Good night, Sir Phillips. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Thanks, sir. And I know there was a power cut in the St. Mary area, so that's why you were a bit late coming on. But thank you for coming. Can I just get straight into this and just ask you, if the government policies are working and can withstand scrutiny, why are more ministers not putting themselves out there to regular questioning by independent journalists or by the traditional media? Why is the JIS platform now being used by individuals within the government to interview government ministers? What's going on?
All right. So, thank you for that question, and good night, good morning, good afternoon to our viewers wherever they are in the world. All right. So we have to understand that the present governance system is built around the idea of control. The Westminster system that we use in Jamaica is built around control of our resources, control of our liberty, and that will filter down in what you're describing, control of what the people know, which leads to how the people think. So if you control how the people think, then you are controlling the people. Now, the JIS is an agency of the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information. It's an agency of a government ministry, a part of which is that ministry forms part of the executive of Jamaica, headed by a minister of government. So you would understand then that if this is a government-owned entity that controls the information that goes out there, then they will want to control how they are viewed. They'll control the narrative so that they always look good. And if we bear in mind that the system that we have inherited is a form of colonialism where those with the moneyed class, or whom we call the oligarchs, still control our democratic system to an extent, in that they are the ones who contribute to political campaigns, political parties. So whoever forms government owes some sort of debt to these private interests, and many of these persons also are major owners or funders of the media. So there is that subtle influence that pervades the media. Now, the state-owned media, we can understand why it is the way that it is. And you spoke about the JIS. The government controls what comes through there. So you would not want to put a government minister in front of an entity that will ask tough questions for which you're not prepared, because, as we said earlier, it is control that the system is built around.
So, Chase, are you suggesting that we're watching in real time a puff machine being built from the ground up?
A puff machine? What is
puff?
that?
So it's like, you know when something's like a bit like, okay, hey Chase, come and sit here. This is what I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you what you had for dinner tonight and what it's like, a day in your life as a minister. Those puff questions where it's not where it's like, what's going on here? Why are you telling us about what it's like working in a government department instead of telling us about the policies and how your policies are impacting real, having impact on real people?
You will see that if we were paying attention to the last general elections, you would notice that neither of the two main political parties were leading with policies. In the first part of the campaign, it was near the ending of the campaign season, when it was almost time for the electorate to vote, where both parties provided their manifestos, which would speak to the policies that they are bringing in government. Both parties were more focused on the drama, on the charisma, on throwing words and such, because when you look at it in detail, Jamaican politics, the system is not geared for real development of the nation. It's geared to this. It's like a soap opera. It's really sensationalism. It's really the entertainment. So when you have a system that is based on that, then you won't expect that it can stand up to investigative journalism and real critical analysis of policies. So
Right.
what they do though is near the end of the campaigning season, they ensure that the manifestos are out because there are journalists who want to take this apart. So they cater to those, but you see that it is not priority. And when you find that policies are not priority, then what is politics? Because politics is based upon policies for the people. The word politics comes from policy. So if your politics is not guided by a set of values, if it's not guided by a set of programs that you're bringing forward to develop the people and to cater to the people's best selves, then you find that politics is wanting. So it's not surprising that the ministers don't leave themselves up for scrutiny, because really there's not much to scrutinize.
Right. So very quickly, Chase, I've just had a message come through to say, and this is from someone in government saying, hey, as you're talking about the media, the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, will be sitting down tomorrow for an exclusive interview with Cliff Hughes on Nationwide at 10 a.m. Jamaica time. So apparently they're getting out there, Chase. They're getting out there. But listen, finally and briefly, I want to find out if governments are increasingly producing their own news. What does that mean for the future of independent journalism in Jamaica? Should people be worried, or should people just be willing to support and to step up to ensure that these brands and these platforms survive? Because I guess if the government's overlooking these platforms, and it leaves them in a tricky position, doesn't it?
I do think that there's still a space for independent journalism. But what becomes a challenge is what these independent journalists will use as a pulling factor. Because in the minds of many persons, government-backed programs or organization is linked with legitimacy. So the government is legitimate. So for some persons, if you don't have government backing, then you're not really something worthwhile. You don't have much value.
Yeah.
But we see through social media which is it can be good or bad, where people are willing to listen to an alternative voice. So for independent journalists, they will have to work twice as hard to grab the people's attention, and sometimes that results in a lean towards sensationalism. But there is still a space for independent journalists. It's just that they have to work harder. And they are very necessary, because what obtains we're not talking about government media now, what obtains in the general media, which is mostly private owned, is that a number of the corporate interests that fund the media houses are also heavily invested in the two political parties. So while it may not be an instance where a corporation or a cohort of elites or oligarchs write to an editor or call an editor to say you can't print the story, the fact is that the media houses understand that a lot of their funding comes from this section, and this section is interested in this and that party. So any news that is carried must not poke the bear too much.
Listen, Chase, I'm so glad that we were able to poke some bears tonight, because I'm going to continue to follow this, because I think it's important that we keep talking about issues like this and to inform the people when there is spin. You call it out, whatever party or whatever your political affiliation is. I think the people deserve honesty, right? And we heard our guest earlier talking about just honesty and believing in our democracy, because that is what democracy is about. But Chase Neal, thank you, Vice President for the Middlesex County for UIC. Thanks for your time. And guys, we only heard his voice, but that's what Chase looks like. There he's, look at his handsome face on screen. Look at that. So next time hopefully we'll see him in vision again next time. But Chase, thank you for your time tonight, sir.
All right, you're welcome. Take care. All the best.
Cheers. Thank you. We're going to continue, like I said, to just sort of just monitor, do our little media watch and see how things are going. But we're going to, there we go. I was going to say, are we keeping Chase's handsome face on screen for any longer? Chase is still there. So we're going to move on now. There we go. We're going to move on. And I want every person here tonight to think about one person, just one person who you speak to every day. It could be mom, dad, your favorite child. Parents always say that they haven't got a favorite child, but I believe.
Yes, the award not keeping, but my patrons, my supporters, them find me right here in the Airbnb. So you can find me too. Come shop, get the Lady Premier merch. The dresses, on the like the things there? Love it. Love. So stop by, call me, 876-865-4587 on WhatsApp, and you shall surely get your outfits, and meet me tomorrow at the Caribbean Queen from 2 o'clock to 6 p.m. where you can just meet, greet, dine, and shop. Yeah. 14 Bradstock in Toronto. Just call me and we give the direction. Here, I'm out. Peace out.
Right, apologies about that, everyone. Slight technical issue right there. So I was just saying a moment ago, I want you guys just to think for a moment, right? Someone you speak to every day. It could be a close family member, your husband, your wife, your child. Now imagine them leaving home one morning and never coming back, or you telling yourself at first, right, that maybe they're running late, maybe they've got caught up somewhere, maybe their phone battery has died, but hours turn into days turn into weeks, and suddenly your life becomes consumed by one question: where are they? In Jamaica, someone is reported missing roughly every 4 hours. So that means 3 to 6 people go missing every single day. And tonight we're going to take some time to understand the reality of missing persons in Jamaica. The families left searching for answers, the emotional toll of not knowing, and the questions being asked about whether enough is being done to find those who do disappear. I want to bring in first into the conversation Winston Watson Jr. and Winston's 78-year-old father. Winston Sr. Has been missing since May the 19th.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for coming on, Winston. I know obviously it's Father's Day today. You're a father yourself, but unfortunately you're trying to find your father on screen. Tell us what happened. What do we know in terms of he's been missing, I think, for exactly a month now, right?
Right. Yes, that's true. Well, he's been missing since May 19, 2026. About 5 o'clock. He was at home with his wife, and she was making dinner. He was sitting on the veranda, and she left to attend to chickens in the yard. And by the time she finished feeding the chickens, she returned to the veranda, he wasn't there. So, just to say that he has been suffering from dementia since about 2018. And he generally is around the house or somewhere on the property. So when she didn't see him at that point, she wasn't too alarmed, because, as I said, he normally would walk along the property and would be back home before nightfall. So on that particular day, while she was there waiting for him and she didn't see him come back by nightfall, that was when she got word, and she started making some phone calls. she got in contact with me, and then we haven't seen him. Nobody has seen him since that particular day.
So he was diagnosed with dementia, I believe, in 2018.
Yes.
So how advanced was he when you last saw him? Was he able to still, sort of communicate, do usual things? He can walk, get from A to B. Did he have any mobility issues, or was he still functioning and appeared as normal?
All right. His appearance is normal. He can still he recognizes most persons that are familiar with him, but let's say that the disease was advancing, because I remember at one point he couldn't remember how to sign his name. It was a challenge for him to get him to sign his name. The last time I took him to do business, and but he would still remember me. He remembers his wife. He recognizes my other siblings if they call him on the phone and stuff like that. But it was becoming apparent that some of his cognitive functions were decreasing, and dementia is a disease that over time reduces the cognitive function. So that was expected.
Did he have a history of walking off or disappearing or going away for long periods of time, or is this the first time he's ever left the home and not returned?
Well, he doesn't really have a history per se of walking off or disappearing. As I mentioned, he generally walks on the property. He would go down to the road. Just for context, the property is about 2.5 acres. And so we go on the adjoining properties. So people would normally see him. The community is aware that he has dementia. So if they see him at a particular point, the people would engage him, and tell him that it's time to go back home. If he goes out onto the square, that's it, like in the center of the community, stuff like that, persons would generally either call me, call his wife, or call my brothers or any other family member and let us know that he is on the road. So generally persons, once they see him away from the house, they are alert enough to let us know that he is there. And he would generally go by himself, or persons would generally take him back, whether walking with him back or they would drop him back at the house. But that particular day in question, I'm not sure what happened. Persons said that they were on the road in the square, but they didn't see him, and it's kind of odd because it's a small community, and him being born and raised in that community, he was a person that other persons would have known, so as I said, persons would look out for him as they are aware that he's suffering from dementia.
For 37 years, you've often celebrated Father's Day with your dad, right? So this is the first time that he's not been around for Father's Day. How difficult has today been? I mean, in fact, how difficult has the last month been for you and the entire family? I mean, we look at him with his granddaughter in his hand there. I know, obviously, his wife, she must be beyond, herself, worrying. How tough has the last month been for everyone?
It has been extremely tough. I know that my brothers and my sisters, they're extremely worried. It's extremely jarring for them, especially jarring for them, because they live abroad, and I'm the only one that's here. For my stepmother, like sometimes when she calls me since he has been missing, um, I want to say I'm a bit apprehensive to answer because I I don't have any good news to tell her, and the conversation always ends up with her crying and stuff like that. So so you know it's as I said, I've one of my go-to words for the past month. It's been an emotional roller coaster for the entire family.
I know obviously you're currently a serving police officer, in the JCF. So, I mean, you will know the protocols, what is being done to try and find your father. I'm just trying to understand because I realized that, and I said the figure right earlier, and when I did the research and was realizing and understanding that every couple of hours, right, someone goes missing.
Right. It's well to put my professional spin on it. There are a lot of persons reported missing in Jamaica for various reasons, um, ranging from the very young to the very old. The I can say from personal experience, persons who between the ages of 9 to probably 2021. Majority of those persons, when they go missing, it's either from um, some interpersonal conflict within the home,
Right.
and they leave because of somebody in an authority figure speaking to them. These persons generally return on their own, or they are found shortly after. But and then there's another group of persons who are involved in criminal activities. Um, those those persons either they return home or they are found dead. The other group, which my father falls into, which is the seniors, um, they generally wander from home. They get confused as to where they are. If persons generally find them on the road, we either bring them to a hospital, to a police station, or some facility that may take care of them. And the family members are generally either alerted to this, or when they, in my case, if they are searching, they would check these places and they would be reunited. Unfortunately, in my case, I have checked all those places. Unfortunately, I'm unable to locate it.
And you've checked hospitals. I mean, you are a police officer, so your detective investigative instincts would have kicked in, and I'm sure you've done all of those things. But here's the thing: and before I do this, everyone, can we all like this and try and share this with as many people as possible? We're going to keep Mr. Watson's picture up throughout the night as we transition to our second guest to talk about Jaden Smith. But I'm just going to focus on this story for a moment. If your father is out there somewhere, someone kind-hearted person may have taken him in, maybe he's in a hospital somewhere, maybe he's on the other side of the country somewhere. What do you want to say to him tonight? What is your message to him or anyone who might have information and that can help the police's investigation in trying to find him and to give you and your family the answers that you need tonight? What do you want to say?
A bit lost for words there, Joe. But no, what I would say on top of my head is I would appreciate the fact that if they do have my father and they're taking care of him, words couldn't express the gratitude for keeping him safe, for sustaining him, because the thought has crossed my mind and my siblings as well. If he's actually out there, or if he's on the road, what is keeping him alive? How is he sheltered when it's hot? Or is he sheltered if it's raining? What is he eating? How is he looking right now? It's been a month, you know. So, and I know that taking care of somebody with this type of disability, it takes a lot. Trust me, I've been going through it since he was first diagnosed, and his wife she's been the primary caregiver, and I can see the toll that it has taken on her. So if he is with someone and they're taking care of him, I would be eternally grateful to them for that.
Winston, we appreciate your time tonight. Thank you. And we're going to keep checking in and keep, trying to, get your father's photo out there and just see if people will have recognized him or know any information. Because sometimes, these things, they travel, and it can be a case of, oh, actually, I remember seeing that guy, in a nearby shop or in a nearby area. So his photo is on screen. Anybody with information, the Ramble police, the local police department in Ramble, they're the ones who are leading the investigation and are trying to find Winston Watson, 78 years old, been missing from the 19th of May. The local area, it's in Hanover, right? Can you narrow it down and just tell us the specific community that he lived in?
Yes. So he lived in Leyte district. That's a lot of persons may know, like reference to Anchovy. So Anchovy would be the closest town to Leyte.
Okay.
It's about 25 minutes out of Montego Bay. So from Montego Bay, Anchovy will be the next closest town.
All right. So the Ramble Police, 876-822-5211. If anyone has any information, or you can, of course, get in touch with us here, and then we can put you in touch with Winston Sr.'s son, Winston Jr. But sir, thank you for your time tonight. We're going to try and keep in touch and see if maybe you can just get some answers and give your family a little bit of peace.
Sure, no, thank you so much for having me. Thanks to your viewers as well.
All right. Appreciate you. Thank you. So it's interesting, isn't it? When you look at the fact that this is an issue that we don't often talk about, sometimes we gloss over the fact that there are so many people day in, day out that go missing. And I want to talk about another case, 268 days ago. That is how long 12-year-old Jaden Smith has been missing. The Manchester high school student from the Wales district in Manchester, right, was last seen on September the 26th, 2025. And he basically left school. That was the last time he was seen after leaving school in Mandeville. Despite searches by residents, volunteers, the police, there has been no sign of little Jayden. Now, supporters are organizing a march to renew attention to the case because nearly 9 months later, his family, they're still searching, still hoping someone will come forward with information that will bring Jayden home. Let me bring in now Surprise, who is organizing a protest, I believe, next Saturday to try and find Jayden. Welcome, Surprise.
Welcome to your panel. And wish all your viewers a good night. And we're here to talk about little Jayden.
Tell me about why you've taken a particular interest in Jayden's case.
Every time I would have looked at this young man, I would have seen myself as a child. I would have looked similar to Jayden growing up. And, you know, one Friday evening, a friend of mine called me and mentioned that Jayden, she didn't even call his name because she said a young guy from the community was missing, and they were asking me to pray for him and for his return. And then that is where I actually come in contact with the situation of Jayden. So we started that prayer, we put out the prayer, and then as the days go by, the case start to climb and more people start to, give their interest until it basically touched the news. And touched the news, the principal would have come out from Manchester High School and he'd have give a version of Jayden, and then it caused us to start to look into the version that he have gave us of Jayden and the things that he would have spoken about Jayden. And we're saying, for you to come out and give us such definition of Jayden, and you only know Jayden for just 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it seems to be a lot for you to know so much about this young man. And he's not the only new child that would have participated in your new set of kids that you got. So right there, it started to, take concern, and the citizens started to look deeper and wider into it. And a lot of searches, we don't come up on Jayden, but the school would have give us an idea that they would have had sighting of him. And so a few people were looking, because if the school said they saw him, then you expect that he's around. So people started to look for him. And then, so what now? It caused the case to go in a mood of a runaway child. And this mood would have been now interjected into the case by the principal. And that is where now the principal would have been the center of, with the family, of this missing Jayden. And, we see it very disturbing, because so many cameras are around the town of Mandeville, camera east, west, north, and south. And these footage would have been gathered together by the police, and we hear nothing about these footage. Nothing. And it seems like, it would have appeared like they didn't have any footage. So I take it upon my head, and I started to do a little investigation on the footage, and would have realized that footage from the Bankhouse Mall, which is Reliance Center, which also you call like a Caesar, that they would have gone there to get the footage. All right. Months after, I would have gone to 3 Angels, and 3 Angels would have gave us their word that the police would have come and pick up the footage from them. And the footage was that the young lady was actually at the pharmacy the Friday morning to collect the key. And she gave the public the notion that she had never left the hospital at any point in time away from the Saturday when she removed to St. Anne's-Bay. So
there is
we're
so much here, Surprise, to digest, right?
Yeah,
I want to just try and
yeah.
I want to try and just guide people through. Is the understanding, and I'm just going to be really frank here tonight,
Yeah,
because
man.
I feel like this story has become a bit of one of those stories that people, who might not know Jayden, but genuinely feel they want justice for this child. They want to know what happened to him. Is the belief is that something may have happened to Jayden and there is a cover-up? Is that the suspicion among most people who are following this case?
Well, it's. I think it passed suspicion. Based upon the red flags, it would have passed suspicion, and we would have bring this, as you said, suspicion to other authorities, and people in high places would have seen it too, and literally asked me questions, and I would have gave them answers, and they would have saying, but I mean, like police officers would have saying, so why the family member is not arrested when we have so many red flags? So I last spoken to an inspector of police, which is at the Area 3 Division, and he had interest within the case, and he started to look through the case, and he would have seen where something is gone wrong. And for some reason, there's a change now. There's a change of baton in the police force within Mandeville. So we have a new crime boss in Manchester now, which this crime boss would have been this person that we are hoping now to pick up this new leg of Jaden Smith. So, and we are on a good page right now. We are on a good page, and we in a good position, hearing that the police would have actually told us that they are at maybe 90% of the investigating part of the case, and they would have had new evidence, pertaining to Jaden Smith. So we are just adamant now, waiting for the march to see what they will come and say no after the march. Because I literally mentioned to the officer, we have a march coming up, so I'm asking you to just hold back a little information until we actually do the march, because the march was scheduled before this consultation between me and the police.
Talk to me about the march. It's this Saturday, right?
Yes, this Saturday at
27th.
10. Yeah, at 10 o'clock, right? And it will be going up until 2, right? So we're here asking for the revisit of the Jaden Smith case. So we're campaigning on revisit Jaden's case.
So here's the thing. So you want the case to be revisited. Listen, I don't do conspiracy theories. I try and examine facts and make my decisions, which are informed by facts and that can be backed up with evidence.
Okay.
Do you believe someone out there knows where Jayden is? And if so, why do you think there is a reluctance to try and find this child?
Well, we have a lot of theory out there, which other people would have known what take place with Jayden.
Tell me, talk to me. I think the people want to hear straight talking tonight.
All right. Our strong belief that Jayden was actually put into some form of ritual. And that is where we would have the principal to come in and insert himself and distracting the people of Manchester and the people of the wider diaspora about the survival skills of Jayden. And he had mentioned that he did not know the family. And we now have evidence that he knows the family. Not just conspiracy, but we have evidence that he knows the family. And Jayden grand step uncle-in-law would have suggested that Mr. Gabriel is his boss. And so we have all of these factors. We have pictures. We have pictures from Facebook with Shanique, which is Jayden's cousins, who would have been accused for the adopted kidnapping of Jayden or whatever happened to Jayden. We would have put her surely responsible to be a part of it based upon what happened to our child that brings her into the parish, into the country at that particular time. And she was in Manchester at that particular time and hour that Jayden been missing. So she would have had birthday party at the principal home. We would have had that on camera and video, as in placing her and her husband at the principal home. So there's so many things that she said she wasn't a part of, and the principal said he wasn't a part of, and it can be proven now that all of those were lies.
So here's the thing. The last appeal I can see that was put out was by the police last year. I think that was before the change of leadership that you mentioned. Right. I'm just wondering if we work on the theory, right, that maybe the police might have a small trove of evidence that might back up what you're saying, but therefore don't have the compelling, the kind of, the bullseye to go after individuals who may be linked to this case. Do you think that there is a risk that in 5-10 years from now we'll still be talking about Jayden, saying justice for Jayden, or do you believe that the police might crack this case, it might be solved, his body might be found, or if he at all might be found? Because let's not forget, he went missing in September. Hurricane Melissa then happened in October, right? So he would have probably been very vulnerable if he was missing on the run in Jamaica or whatever.
I don't think that the majority of Jamaicans are actually looking for an actual Jayden to return. What we are looking for is justice with the circumstantial evidence that is out there. So there's circumstantial evidence that is out there that somebody can be prosecuted by those evidence, those conversations that you have put out, and you would have been questioned around those conversations, time and place. And if you cannot deliver yourself or have a proper alibi and those conversations, then you're going to be interdicted.
Listen, it's like I said, we're going to try and continue to follow this story through as well. I think there is genuinely a lot of people who care about this story and who want to see however it ends and however Jayden's chapter might be written. They want to know what happened to this young boy. Just shout out for us one more time your protest time and the location where you want people to come and support if they care about this story as much as they say they do.
Right, we're going to be in the square of Mandeville, Manchester, square, the town square, right in front of the police station in that park. We're going to be there, and we're getting the support of the Manchester business community. Them themselves need justice. Them themselves would have known that something was not right, and the police hierarchy would have known that too, and that is why strongly we get a change of order in the police force, where the baton would have passed on now to police who capable of dealing with the case on a transparency basis. So we know that we're in a good place based upon having consultations with the officers on a regular basis. So we are not ifing or butting. What they just need from us is time, and they ask us to just give them the time to get that 10% in order, that when you put forth the case, you don't lose the case in front of the court because you never do due diligence. So they are asking us for that, little time to make sure that due diligence done and all of these investigation come to the fullness that they want. So we have no doubt that justice is coming. We have no doubt, based upon, as I said, based upon the consultation that we would have had with the officers, and based upon what the hierarchy would have done within the force, based upon what they would have seen, the negligence of this case, and they would have taken action by changing the whatever, and so we're in a good position, and we want justice for Jayden, and we want justice for the other rest of missing kids. And, we are here buckling, as you said, 10 years. If it is 10 years, we're going to stand with the 10 years. We are not backing down until we get justice, because we know that somebody has incriminated themselves already, but it's just for who's supposed to be in authority at the time to actually move with what was there, and that negligence happened. And we are not blaming the whole police force for that. You understand? We are just looking at, somebody messed up, but there's somebody else there to give us justice. And I want to shout out to the officers. We thank you for these, good officers, and these officers that have concern, that would have looked into the case before we even cry out for revisiting the case. Because, as I said, we have consultation behind the scenes, and we would have known that interest put in. And we just want to tell those police officers that we appreciate and we respect the fact that they could have done so to clear the air and to, allow people to find peace, and also, Jayden mother to get that, closure as a mom, for whatever happened. she will come to the reality to know that, okay, this is what it is, and this is what I have to deal with. And, you know, I'm just imploring the officers to just continue on this part and let it happen. Let it happen.
Right.
And the supporters, I am just giving them thanks, and the wider diaspora who had put their effort out and put their money out where the mouth is, and to get this march possible, you know. And we're saying that we're still asking for a little donation, you know, and anybody who feel led to, you know, contribute a donation, then you can do so. You understand? Get in touch with you, and you will get in touch with, you know, your other party would have linked you up with me. And
yeah, sure. I mean, your number is on screen, so if anyone
so they can get in touch with me personal too. Yeah,
you know, next Saturday want to support. Surprise number is on screen, 678-207-3426. But Surprise, thank you tonight, man. I appreciate it, and we're gonna keep in touch and see how things pan out.
Yeah, we thank you too. We thank you too. We thank you too. We thank you, you know, to facilitate us on your platform, and you know, big of yourself, you know, one love, justice for Jayden. We're out of here. All right, have a great one.
Appreciate you, Surprise. Thank you. So there you go, guys. So Alligator Pond Police, 876-224-3113. If anyone has any information on little Jayden, 12-year-old Jayden, been missing nearly 270 days now. One Jamaican is reported missing every 4 hours on the island. Every 4 hours. Thousands of cases involve people coming home. Hundreds remain unsolved. And I know we're just touching the tip of the iceberg tonight in terms of talking about these cases. But thank you to Surprise and to Winston earlier for talking to us. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to talk very quickly about the World Cup. I'm very, 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 very upset with those people who are on the streets with their pot covers, banging the pot covers. And I can't even talk right now because I'm so mad about this. But I'm going to explain in the next 45 seconds why I am so angry tonight. I'll see you in a second.
I know a place.
Elegance, the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom Experience, Sunday, July 19, 2026. Featuring Crazy Chris, Master Rod, Welton Irie, DJ VJ Snow. Every song is a video. Classic souls of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. A momentous occasion where fashion meets style. The best dressed couple and the best dressed dancer will receive $1,000 US respectively. Isn't that nice? Hors d'oeuvres and wine will be served. Admission $10,000. VIP experience $15,000. The experience begins at 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Part proceeds to the JCF Convalescence Home in St. Elizabeth. This one is gonna be different. I'll definitely be there.
From nature to you, straight from the tree to everyday living. So why the hassle when it's already done for you? Stop searching, looking for pure natural coconut oil you can trust? Aruka Distribution has the answer. Only Coconuts brings you two premium options, virgin coconut oil and refined coconut oil. Our virgin coconut oil is cold pressed to preserve its natural fragrance and nutrients, perfect for skincare, hair care, oral health and low temperature cooking. For higher heat cooking, choose our refined coconut oil, with a neutral scent, high smoke point, and cholesterol-free goodness for everyday meals. 2 oils, 2 purposes, 1 pure standard. Available at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. Nature's gift for you. The difference is clear, only Coconuts. Turn your creativity into cash. Ready to elevate your career and become your own boss? Then join Creative Stems and Drapes for our intensive 6 to 8 week floral and event design decor training program. Whether you're a beginner starting from scratch or looking to upgrade your existing skills, we offer both beginner and advanced modules tailored just for you. Learn from a world-traveled Jamaican master instructor with over 30 years of global industry experience. You'll learn floral design, draping and elegant backdrops, lighting decor for premium events, modern balloon installations. Classes will be held in Kingston and spaces are strictly limited to ensure hands-on learning and personal attention. So don't wait. Invest in your future today. Register now or email us for more information.
Hey everyone, evening to you. Hope you guys are doing well. So it's Sunday. It's a good day today, actually. I mean, it's been so hot in the UK, and even in most states across the US. I've been getting calls from people saying that they're melting. Even in Jamaica, I was talking to someone earlier, and they're literally saying that right now people are having to basically freeze ice and just put ice on their chest. Is it really that hot in Jamaica, or is that the entire? I think, Jayden, are you putting ice on your chest right now? Because he's just playing. Go, that's a yes. Wow, that is some heat down there. So I'm in New York at the moment, right? And we basically just sit in the AC. I opened the back door earlier and I stepped outside and I was like, nope, not doing this today, and went straight.
Help, help. We key out of the ladder.
Need your divine intervention.
And do you know who needs intervention tonight? The people of Jamaica who are moving crazy, the people who are following the World Cup. And I want to bring some tragic news, actually, whilst also transitioning to talk about something important. 23-year-old Lamar Mullings of Barry Road in Ewerton in St. Catherine was killed. He was stabbed after 23-year-old was stabbed, right? After asking that the volume on a TV to be turned down whilst the World Cup match was being shown on June the 17th.
What can go so?
Lamar's 25-year-old uncle, Chad Campbell, was watching the game, had the volume turned up loud, didn't like the fact that his nephew had asked him to turn it down, and they got into an argument. And
Ball out! Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help.
What can go so?
Unbelievable. So they got into the physical fight. Lamar was stabbed in the chest, went to hospital, and sadly didn't make it. His uncle, 25-year-old Chad Campbell, has since been charged with murder. Now, it is a tragedy that I realize that not a lot of people are aware of, haven't spoken about enough, but it has shocked people in the community of St. Catherine, right? But it also raises uncomfortable questions about what captures the nation's attention and what does not. Over the past week, streets across Jamaica have been filled with celebrations. Can we play this clip, Jayden, just showing the celebrations? People waving their football flag. So that is just one community in Jamaica where people took to the streets to celebrate Brazil's victory so far in the World Cup. But do you know what? When I looked at those images, and I said to myself, while we have a situation where there are thousands of people finding the time to celebrate football, there has been no comparable public outcry over the issues that continue to claim Jamaican lives. No mass demonstrations over the country's murder rate. We don't see crowds filling the streets demanding action on violence. No national protests over the growing number of people, in particular women and girls, being killed in communities across the country. Instead,
what can go so?
This is a difficult one for me tonight, because instead we have, and I genuinely mean this with no offense, we have these people who are so blind to the reality and so licky taken to the streets to celebrate a country Yeah, we all like Brazil. Brazil's a great country, but also let's bear in mind that Brazil and Argentina, we've seen a few taxi drivers painting their cabs in the color of the Argentinian flag, one of the most, from my opinion, most racist places against black people. Yet we have people with their priorities all messed up. We have a young Jamaican man, a 23-year-old who's dead, who's laying on ice tonight, right? Following an argument over the World Cup. And then we sit here day in, day out, week in, week out, talking about the issues plaguing people's lives. And people find a time with their horns and their flags to mobilize, get on the street to celebrate. To celebrate.
Help, WePiada.
If even of the fraction, all I want to say tonight, right? Even if just that little tiny bit of energy displayed in that clip that we played a moment ago was directed towards demanding accountability, safer communities, better schools, better hospitals, and stronger institutions, Jamaica might look very, very different. And you know, the question tonight, right, isn't whether people should celebrate football. Of course you should, of course, 100%. I love the fact that we have these games and they bring us together and they unite us in those big moments and they bring the nations, the country together. But the question is also at the same time, why are so many people willing to celebrate, but so few seem willing to organize when issues that are affecting them are far more important, that are affecting their friends, their neighbors, everyone in the country? It's probably one of the most difficult things I can get my head around, because I feel like I've sat here time and time again. We heard right earlier about the issues plaguing the country, the energy. People just aren't interested. So it makes you then wonder, when we come and we do these shows and we turn up and we show up, is it pointless? Do we have our priorities in the wrong place? I don't know. But please tonight, right? And for the family of Lamar Mullings, the World Cup will now be remembered not for goals or celebrations, but for the night a simple request allegedly ended in bloodshed, in a brutal and gruesome murder. And please, ladies and gentlemen, please get out. Can we just fix our priorities and think about the Jaden Smith march that is happening next Saturday? If you can get there, just show up, turn up for 10, 15 minutes. Because you get people who are prioritizing, they're caring about the things that they want to care about. But let's just get our priorities sorted and really invest in the things and the people who are going above and beyond to try and want to give us a reason to care. But come on, England, rooting for England in the World Cup. I'm going to move on to the final segment of the night. And I'm going to bring in Shaquille in a second. But before I do that, right, I want to take you guys to the heart of government right now. Questions have been swirling now for weeks about whether all is well inside the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. Rumors have been circulating that there's a growing rift between State Minister Carrie Morrison and Minister Babsy Grange. Apparently in certain political circles, people are kind of like doing things like that. Now, Morrison over the weekend has spoken out and she has dismissed suggestions of any falling out with her boss, Babsy Grange, insisting all is fair. She was asked the question, is there a feud between the both of you? She said, all is fair. It was a little bit flaky. I don't know if we've got that clip, Jayden, if we can play it. So this is from an interview that Minister Morrison did with Cliff Hughes. Do we have that clip? If not, anyways, like I said, she responded saying all is fair. So I watched it on Friday, did some digging, managed to speak to a few people. And tonight I can reveal that the discussions taking place behind the scenes is not necessarily about the conflict between the two ministers, these two women. It is about, I can reveal, succession. Multiple sources tell me that there are growing efforts within sections of the JLP to persuade the Prime Minister and those who are in leadership positions that the time may have come for a changing of the guard. Now, supporters of Babsy Grange point to the fact that, and listen, she's got a lot of fans out there. People love her. There's no doubt about that. They tell me that she is a disciplined and a hands-on minister who maintains a tight control over her portfolio and her department. Now, here's the thing. People are saying that there is no denying how much she has given to the party, how much she has given to the country. And I think it's fair to say she's earned her place in history. She's the longest serving female MP in Parliament currently, right? But apparently she doesn't have any intention of going away anytime soon or stepping aside. And there are people, there are fractions within the JLP who believe the time has come for new ministers to step up, new people, new individuals to be given a term. I was told succession planning is essential to the long-term health of any political movement. That's what I was told. But Babsy said she's not going anywhere. So here's the thing. There is genuinely an issue going on, but it's about sidelining a minister with experience. And it's left us asking the question tonight, should experience continue to trump renewal or giving people an opportunity to step up? And that's what I've been told. I've been told they don't hate each other. They're not fighting every day. This is simply about the fact that there are ambitious women in the party and they want to step up. And you have a woman who has been at the top of her game for the last 4 decades who has no intention of going anywhere. Shaquille, come in and try and just make sense of what is going on and whether there are just too many people in Jamaican politics right now who've been around for a long time, who've done their dues, who are legends in their own right, and seem to just have this reluctance to give the younger guys an opportunity to step up. What do you think? Shaquille, you're on mute if you're there. All right. Whilst we give Shaquille maybe a minute or two to try and I don't know if it's his audio, if he's in vision, but here's the thing. Babsy Grange has been serving in government for more than 40 years, right? 1997, she became an MP for St. Catherine, Central St. Catherine, a seat she has held on to for 29 years. 30 years she would have been. She'll celebrate her time in politics, 30 years as an MP, but 40 years prior to that, she's been just in politics overall. She started off as a state senator and then became an MP. I was really keen to try and hear Shaquille's take on this, because you guys know that, sometimes it's important to try and inform your decisions and your thoughts on talking to people. There we go. You back? You here?
Just to be sure for tonight, Noel, you hear me clearly?
We can hear you, yes. And I feel like I've mispronounced the state minister's name. I'm adding even more drama to this. But
but I think your viewers can understand. You're not from here, so we'll cut you some slack. But it's pronounced Carencia.
Carencia, okay. So apparently Carencia and Babsy, there is no beef. Carencia just wants to step up. She wants an opportunity. She's ambitious and she just wants an opportunity to get to the top.
And understandably so, because I think the JLP has a problem with Paul when it comes on to the older party members. They tend not to know when to walk away, when to step down, when to pass the baton. And if you know Carencia, you know that she doesn't have a backbencher personality. she's one of those parliamentarians that's very dominant. She's very ambitious.
Oh, so
She's
she's
out
met a
there.
match in Babsy then. Oh, so Babsy's
Yeah.
kind of like,
So
lady,
no, but
back off.
funny enough, I wouldn't say she has met her match with Babsy. I would in fact say Currency is possibly a Babsy 2.0. And maybe that's why there's a beef, because maybe if there is a beef, because the reality is maybe Babsy as the older one is now looking at it and saying, my entire legacy will be overshadowed by what I deem to be currency as potential. Because the reality is, because the reality is, currency is, remember, we have to bear in mind the generations that are a part of this. Babsy's from a different era. She's from a generation that she could resonate well with, relate well with. Carencia, having all the skills, the talents that Babsy possesses, but no, from our generation, which makes her more relatable than Babsy, um, because she understands us more. She understands social context and all of that more. The reality is, with a dynamic like that, Noel, there is bound to be problems because Babsy is a dominant personality as well. So it's the literal example of two bulls can't rule in one pen kind of example. Both.
What can go so?
So the way how it was articulated from sources within the JLP was that they believe that there needs to be an opportunity, right, for women. So apparently they are looking on and they're seeing the likes of Nikisha Burchell, who seem to be making waves on the side of the PMP in being effective as the counter spokesperson for gender and culture. And listen, I didn't want to ask the question because I'm very much in the favor of if Babsy is still walking around, she doesn't need help with mobility. She can do the job. She's, she's effective. She's delivering. Then let her stay in her role. This is about succession. This is about actually, can we have an orderly, sort of handing over of the baton? Maybe this doesn't need to be, the minister falls ill and then she's forced to step down, or, something dramatic happens. Let's. You got some people nowadays. I take set from the church. All right, couldn't do with the drums there. This is about essentially just trying to pave the way for younger, brighter stars who can be future Babsies to come through. And I'm just wondering, like, why is there this obsession with these older guys in politics on both sides of the party to refuse to just say, hey, you know what? I've done my fair dues. I've done 30 years, 25 years, 40 years. Let's give the younger guys, the rising stars, an opportunity to come through.
I agree. And unfortunately, it's an international issue. So I can't even limit it to my own country and to say, yeah, Jamaica is the only one with that particular issue.
Where they come from, send it back.
Right, so it's right across the board in almost every country. So it's not unique to us. But I give credit where credit is due. And honestly speaking, I saw where the Prime Minister maybe was trying to plan for something like that, because every minister, I think, has a junior state minister. So you can look at it that it's succession planning, and most of these older folks will maybe leave after the next general election. But because we here know the dynamics involved in the JLP, I don't think that's the case. I just think it's simply a case where everybody have to eat a food. And based on the law, you get the salary of the highest office that you hold. So if you're a member of parliament but you're also a minister, then you take home a minister's salary, not an MP salary. So I think it's more of a strategy to ensure that the MPs get more resources, more access to state resources as well, better salary, better everything, because now you're not just an MP, you're a state minister, you're a parliamentary secretary. you are a minister, a full cabinet minister. So I think that's basically just what it is.
Right. So Minister Grange is 80 years old. Donald Trump is 80 years old, right? So here's the thing. Like I said a moment ago, we're not going to do that thing where we're going to be ageist or discriminatory on any basis. She seems to still be, effective. The people love her. You look at all the artists. I mean, she's been in her role for a long time, so she's built that reputation, that credibility. And my understanding is that Edward Seaga was his protege, right? He kind of groomed her, took her under his wing. So I was also told, do not underestimate Babsy Grange. This woman has been around a long time. She knows the closet doors where skeletons are hidden as well. That's what I was told. So the picture that was painted to me was that, listen, we're not dealing with some, opportunist, minister here. The case was also made to me when the Prime Minister left Jamaica recently for a trip to New York. Who did he put in charge as Deputy Prime Minister? As Prime Minister, acting Prime Minister for the time he was away, Babsy Grange. Horace Chang, I believe, was ill at the time. He had his operation, and he said that the Prime Minister trusts Babsy. She is a close, friend of his. She gives good counsel, good mentoring, etc., etc. So it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting when, if ever these individuals who give so much will read the room and say, you know what, I'm not going to be forced out. I'm going to go with my head held high. But maybe she has aspirations to become prime minister, and that's the last thing that she wants to do. Who knows?
Hell no. Hell no. And firstly, to use Donald Trump as like an example, I don't think it does well for Babsy, because Trump, we all see what's happening in America. So much so that people are actually questioning his mental capabilities. But the reality is, here's the thing. I don't think a honest Jamaican can doubt that Babsy is a hardworking minister. Whichever side of the aisle you're on, you have to just admit it. But here's the thing, though, Noel, that you have to accept. Babsy has set a standard. Do we know if somebody younger and fresher can go above that standard? No. Because she has set the standard. She has passed her prime. She's now more than likely unable to raise that standard. So the standard is there. It's a high standard. It's a good standard. But here's the reality. Maybe Kerencia could do way better in about 2 years. Maybe Kerencia, or not even just Kerencia, any other member of the party who, let's say, Babsy decides to step down now and she's replaced, who knows if somebody can go beyond that standard? But we won't know unless she goes. That's just the truth. And we've seen it a lot here in Jamaica, where even in schools where you have a principal and people say that's an excellent principal, and him bring the school to where it's at in regards to academics and championships and all of that. And then that principal retires. Because here's the funny thing. In those situations where it's still a governance structure, still somewhat kind of political structure. If you look at how a school is governed, it still has like the principal, which will be the prime minister, and then the vice principal, which will be like the deputy prime minister. So it still operates like a political organization. And yet you have to go when you reach the age of retirement. And when a principal leaves and a principal comes after, sometimes you'll have some principal that comes afterwards that are really bad. And so they don't build on the legacy and they actually cause the school to regress. But there are a lot of cases where you have principals who come afterwards and outshine the principal before. Why can't the same thing happen in politics when it comes down to these dinosaurs? Babsy's a dinosaur. She's ancient. And no, I'm being honest. I'm not dope.
Ball out! Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament.
I am not doubting her work, Noel. But you need to know when to leave the stage. Babsy put me in mind of them old-time Jamaican DJs where you give them a bus on the stage and you give them the mic and them decide so them now want to put it down. Them do a song and them get a forward and it get to them head and them want song after song after song. You're not the headliner. You need to know when your time pass. Babsy needs to go. good job or not, we need somebody new. That's just the reality. What can go so?
Indeed,
And I'll
indeed.
be blunt. I'll be frank. No, I just want to add this part because it cut off. So I don't know if the people them hear it. Somebody needs to tell Babsy, go home, go spend time with your grandkids. Come on, you're 80. Go spend some time with your
We're not doing that, Shaquille. I said it before. I spent time following Donald Trump, covering Joe Biden's 4 years in office. I mean, Joe Biden's a little bit questionable. I mean, he went all funky and went all wobbly and stuff like that. But Trump, if there's proof that we can know that older politicians, I mean, maybe Trump is not the benchmark. Let's use him for his age, maybe not for his policies and his temperament, okay? But I do think that, listen, I like her. I'm a fan of the woman. Of all the government ministers out there, there is something that is special about... Look at her. I mean, what is it? No, but look at her for a second. What is there not to like about her? She's like the nation's grandmother. Look at her.
That's the point, and that's why she needs to go home. And literally was just saying it. You're not helping her case, Noel. That's literally the point.
But
people like Babsy, you associate.
But we
them
need
with
a grandmother
cookies
figure,
and-
though. We need an older figure. You know, somebody who we can.
What can go so?
When the younger guys are messing up, and we can look at people like Babsy and say, what would Babsy do? Babsy's a stable, credible leader who just gives
She can
that.
do it as a backbencher now. I will
Okay.
say that much. She does not need to be a full minister to do it. Be a regular member of parliament that provide guidance and advice on the sidelines. In fact, I could even go further. Babsy doesn't need to be in parliament to give advice. I know former parliamentarians that are still very much involved in the JLP. In fact, I can tell you of even persons in the JLP who are fighting court cases. Joel Reid right now has an ongoing court case where he may end up in prison, and he's still actively involved in the JLP.
I hear something, Marshall. When
He's not a minister, he's not an MP, but still I'm sure he's providing guidance to Andrew. Well, maybe we are seeing how that guidance is playing out, but I'm sure there are some advice and some guidance that he's definitely providing to the party. Babsy can do the same from our living room or a veranda. She don't need to be in a guardhouse and collect my taxes. Come on, man, go home.
Can I?
Good morning. Tell the Jezebel good morning.
So here's the thing, right? Just a quick question for everyone before we head off tonight. If the minister decides she's going to run in the next election and she's going to be around for a while, would there be any objection to Babsy being the leader of her party or potentially being prime minister? I mean, let me go to the chat and see what people are thinking. How are people feeling about a Babsy Grange as prime minister? I mean, she'll probably be 84, 85 by then, 83, 84, sorry. So she'll be
I would support it. I believe the JLP could give Babsy a chance at party leadership. I think it demonstrates to the JLP there, because the reality is the JLP is predominantly of old people. And so having Babsy as the face of your party represents what your party stands for. Friends, cronyism, nepotism. I think Babsy would be a perfect poster child for that. A party that doesn't know when to let go, a party that doesn't know when enough is enough. Yeah, all of that. I look at all of that, to be honest, and I see Babsy. And I think that would be an interesting election. Babsy against Mark Golding. I'm all for it.
keep that picture up just for a moment. This is for you, Babsy. Oh, Babsy, yes. Look at her. Can't get enough, my Babsy.
Oh my God.
See, we just can't get enough of the nation's longest serving sitting female MP, 40 years, 29 years as an MP. She's going to celebrate her 30th year next year. So I'm going to put the offer out there, Babsy Grange. I would love to sit down with you for an in-depth interview, looking at your contributions to Jamaica and all that you have achieved. So that was just my little admiration for, look at her again. Jayden, can you stop putting that picture up on screen? Every time you do that, it's going to stop me in my tracks. So you got to change the picture. Okay, there we go.
Here's the thing, though, no. That picture that's on the screen, that's like from 20 years ago, though. That's just a recent picture of Babsy.
She still looks the same. She's still rocking it for 80. She still looks good. I saw her. Look, there she is now. Let me move in.
That looks the same like the person.
That does look like Shaquille. You're being very ageist now. Let me talk very quickly. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna come off tonight, and I'm gonna go. And you know what I'm gonna do when I come back next time? You see over there, I've got a table there. I'm gonna get a Babsy Grange photo, and I'm gonna put it in a frame, and it's gonna be my backdrop moving on from here. Very quickly, Prime Minister is gonna be sitting down for an exclusive interview tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with Cliff Hughes. A lot of people saying this is the first proper interview the Prime Minister is doing post Hurricane Melissa. What are you hoping he will talk about very briefly and maybe try and touch on? Because I feel like there is so much, isn't there? And I know a lot of pressure, a lot of eyes are going to be on Cliff Hughes, not to be too easy or to give him an easy ride.
To be honest, I don't know what he'll talk about specifically, because there's so much that's happening. He has Hurricane Melissa to talk about. He has Nara to talk about. He has the Bengal ruling to talk about. He has his own uncertified declarations to talk about. No, he has Wheatley's declaration to talk about. There's absolutely so much. I don't know what exactly he'll talk about, but what I'm sure about definitely is that there are going to be lies. There are going to be twists. There are going to be false narratives. There are going to be a lot of deflections. In fact, I expect a lot of manipulation and gaslighting. Because I remember a couple of years ago, Noel, you may be familiar when Peter Phillips was leader of the opposition and he was running against Andrew. And it was that time when everything first started to come out about illicit enrichment and Andrew's name being called and all of that. And by the way, I don't know if people are following my TikTok. You can look it up, Opinions with Ramsey. There's a video I put out since night, which I refer to him, and I think Jamaicans can catch on to the name. It's so fitting. I refer to him as Andrew Barber. And if you know the story of Ali Baba, you'll understand why. So Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. So yeah. And so it was around that time with Peter Phillips, the stories first started to come out about where did he get money from to purchase the properties house is on and to build his house and all of that. And there are a lot of inconsistencies, really and truly, Noel. In fact, from that time, you could tell that this was going to be a problem before it even became a problem. And Andrew's response on the political platform was, every black man for build a big house. And whilst that's right in the sense...
What can go so?
Whilst it's right in the sense where it's ambitious, and yes, I agree. I believe all of my black brothers and sisters, every one of them, if you have a big house, if white people can have it, they can have it too. But here's the reality. Does it mean a black man forget a big house by robbing the next black man? Does it mean a black man forget a big house by robbing his country that he should be serving? So at what cost should the big house come? And it brings us to a scripture. What does it profit a man to gain the world and to lose his soul? So it's basically the same thing in this context. So what's the cost of the big house? So I expect a man with that level of arrogance and selfishness to actually go on the show tomorrow and lie. If at least one lie isn't told tomorrow, I would be very surprised. I'm being very honest. So I anticipate.
So Opinions with Ramsey, guys. That's where you can find Shaquille and his thoughts on TikTok if you want to check him out. So Shaquille will come back on Wednesday. So you know we do this on Sundays on Wednesday. So Shaquille will be back again on Wednesday. But appreciate it, man. Thank you. And
okay, take care.
Can we see Babsy one more time before we go?
Oh Jesus, let me leave fast.
Yeah. Whilst we get the picture up of Babsy, I'm just going to go to some of your comments because they're very, very funny, actually. You know what? Andre has a lot of people who watch him who have a good sense of humor. And the funniest comment that I've seen so far is Chantel saying that, Noel, you're poking the bear. Karen says it's time to go. Someone saying, please, Andre, come back. Noel, you're infuriated. Noel, I look sugar mama tonight.
What can go so?
Ball out! Whoa, yo, yo, yo. We need help, Jesus.
We've got another. I'm trying to find the respectful comments because you guys are brutal over in the chat. I'm just going to go through real quick. Someone is saying, she will like you too, Noel. Noel, I look granny. Take her photo off. I'm leaving. I cannot listen to this criminal. Jayden, they said that you're killing them tonight. Marcia is saying there's going to be loads of lies tomorrow. The 1 p.m. needs to talk to real journalists and not a royalist. Let's, Adrian, give him a chance and let's see how he goes tomorrow. Noel, I said that already. Noel, please let's be friend. Gloria, I'm happy to be your friend, Gloria. Of course we can be friends. Maureen, Woy, Noel have a crush on Babsy. Winsome says, good show. Thank you, Winsome. Someone says, Big Nose is a liar. They went over their question before the show. Althea, maybe it's going to be tough tomorrow. Noel, we see you want the interview. I hear we need to hear from both sides. I agree, exactly. Gloria says, old foot, Noel. My goodness, Gloria. Foot them not that old yet. They're still working. The knees still work. Miss Brum, Jayden, Miss Bum says she's not happy with you tonight. Pearly says Babsy is a cougar. Pearly, how you know that? Colette said that she's loving the fact that we're doing a great show. So thank you, Colette. Jacqueline says she's loving it. Leah, thank you. Gloria says, I don't love you. Of course I love you guys. Doreen says that she thinks we're doing well. Appreciate you, Doreen. But yeah, sometimes I have to turn the comments off because when I look down and I'm doing interviews sometimes and I see you guys just dropping comments, and obviously, you've got to be, when you bring guests on, you've got to be respectful. So half the time I have to turn the comments off, but because you guys are very, 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 very funny. And I'm always laughing at your comments. Marcia says, not you, us old footed Babsy. That Babsy's the... Carol, I love you also. Lorraine says she doesn't want to hear about Babsy. Happy Father's Day. I'm not a dad, Jacqueline, but thank you. But happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Listen, guys, it's been so good to have you with us tonight. Thank you for showing up, for sticking with us. I hope you learned as much as I did tonight. And it's always good when we can come, have these conversations, bring people on, and they can share a bit of their wisdom with us. So thank you for sticking with us. Like I said, the Prime Minister is doing his big interview tomorrow at 10 a.m. We've got a rise starting, I think, tomorrow at 5 a.m. and Midday Connections. I suspect Andre will be here for Midday Connections and will be reacting to what the Prime Minister says. So you don't want to miss Midday Connections tomorrow. And of course, he'll be back at the usual time of 8 p.m. To give his reaction to whatever the Prime Minister has said. But thank you to the team for making tonight possible. Thank you to you for watching. And I will see you guys again, I believe, on Wednesday. And until then, have a great start to the week and sleep well. Good night.